She only said one sentence, just one innocent remark spoken with no malice. But that single comment from the black maid at a lavish wedding, rehearsal would ignite chaos, peel back years of hidden resentment, and reveal a shocking truth the bride thought she'd buried forever. Before we dig deep into this shocking story, kindly hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you never miss real stories that reveal the darkest truths and biggest betrayals. The hall was dripping with chandeliers, the tables adorned with crystal glasses and white roses. It was the rehearsal dinner before the grand wedding of Samantha Carrington, the daughter of a wealthy business mogul. She had it all: her designer gown, a diamond on her finger, and a guest list filled with elites. But the people who made the event seamless? The staff. Among them was Grace, a 27-year-old black maid from a modest background. Grace was quiet, hardworking, and always respectful. She wasn't there for recognition, just to earn her wage and keep her dignity intact. Yet fate had other plans. As the evening unfolded, Samantha stood in the middle of the hall rehearsing her vows. The guests clapped politely, photographers snapped away, and she soaked up the admiration. But Grace, who was quietly arranging flowers behind her, whispered under her breath with a small smile, "You look just like your mother when she married the senator years ago." It was a compliment, nothing more. Grace had once worked at another event years back and remembered vividly the elegance of Samantha's mother. But Samantha froze. Her face was drained of color. She spun around sharply, her eyes narrowing like daggers. "What did you just say?" Samantha's voice cracked through the silence. The guests turned, confusion spreading like wildfire. Grace, startled, stammered, I just meant you look elegant. Like your mother did." But before she could finish, Samantha stormed across the room. She snatched the bouquet from Grace's hands and hissed, "How dare you bring her up in front of everyone? Do you know nothing about respect?" The entire hall went silent. The groom, Daniel, tried to calm her down, but Samantha was trembling, her rage uncontrollable. "Get her out of here now, before she ruins everything." Two security guards approached Grace, who stood frozen in shock. She hadn't said anything insulting. Why such a violent reaction? As Grace was escorted out, whispers rippled through the hall. Why did she react like that? Wasn't that just a compliment? What's so wrong about mentioning her mother? Daniel stared at his fiancée, suspicion flickering in his eyes. He had never seen Samantha like this before, completely unhinged. And all because of a passing comment. Something didn't add up. Later that night, Grace sat in the staff quarters, still shaken. She couldn't understand why her words had caused such chaos, but Daniel couldn't shake his unease. He confronted Samantha privately. "Why did you attack her like that? What's this really about?" Samantha snapped, "You wouldn't understand. That woman doesn't know her place." But the more Daniel pressed, the more Samantha unraveled until finally, the truth came spilling out. Her perfect mother, the one society admired, had carried a scandal that Samantha had spent her entire life covering up. Years ago, her mother had been caught in an affair with the very senator she later married. Grace's innocent comment, linking Samantha to that scandalous past, had struck a nerve so deep it nearly shattered her facade in public. The next morning, Samantha tried to carry on with the wedding plans, but the damage was already done. Rumors spread. Guests questioned her behavior. Even Daniel began wondering if she could hide family secrets this big. What else was she hiding from him? On the day of the wedding itself, Samantha walked down the aisle in her breathtaking gown, but the whispers followed her every step. She was radiant on the outside but crumbling inside. And at the moment Daniel was asked if he took her as his wife, he hesitated. Daniel turned to her and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "I can't marry someone who lashes out at innocence, who hides truths instead of facing them. If Grace's words broke you this badly, then maybe it's not her fault. Maybe it's yours." Gasps filled the hall. The wedding came to a standstill. Samantha collapsed in tears, her empire of perfection shattered in front of the very society she was desperate to impress. And Grace? She was gone, silent, forgotten by most of the guests, but the one person whose presence had changed everything. While Samantha's wedding crumbled in front of high society, Grace was miles away, packing up her modest suitcase. She had no intention of returning after all. She had only been a temporary hire for the rehearsal dinner, but something unexpected happened. The guests who witnessed the scene couldn't stop talking about her. A few defended her, others blamed Samantha, but Grace's name began circulating beyond the walls of the Carrington estate. A local journalist, tipped off by whispers of a black maid who accidentally exposed a bride's darkest secret, tracked Grace down. At first, Grace refused to speak. She wasn't looking for attention. But when the reporter explained how Samantha was already twisting the story, painting Grace as an ungrateful, disrespectful servant, Grace realized staying silent would mean being erased. For the first time in her life, she decided to tell her truth. Grace's interview went viral. She didn't attack Samantha, didn't raise her voice, didn't speak with malice. Instead, she calmly recounted, "All I said was that she looked like her mother. It was meant as a compliment. I never expected such rage. That reaction wasn't about me, it was about what she's hiding." Her composure won the public's heart. Sympathy flooded in for her. Meanwhile, Samantha's reputation spiraled. The Carrington family, once untouchable in elite circles, now faced relentless headlines about infidelity, lies, and cruelty. Daniel's family pulled out of the marriage arrangement entirely, demanding he save face by walking away. Behind closed doors, Samantha raged, blaming Grace, blaming Daniel, even blaming her own mother. But deep down, she knew the life she had built on wealth and appearances was collapsing because of her own insecurities. Weeks later, Grace received an unexpected call. It was Samantha. Her voice trembled, caught between anger and desperation. "Meet me, just once, please, I need to explain." Grace hesitated but agreed, meeting Samantha at a quiet garden cafe. The woman who arrived was no longer the radiant bride-to-be. Samantha looked frail, her makeup unable to hide the sleepless nights. She whispered, "You destroyed me." Grace shook her head. "No, I only reminded you of what you've been running from. You destroyed yourself." For the first time, Samantha broke down, not in anger, but in sobs. She admitted she'd grown up ashamed of her mother's scandal, terrified people would see her as a fraud. "I wanted the perfect wedding to erase the whispers, and you brought them back." Grace stood, her voice calm but firm. "The truth doesn't vanish because you cover it with roses and diamonds. It always finds its way back." And with that, Grace walked away, not as a maid dismissed in humiliation, but as a woman who had unknowingly forced another to face her deepest truth. The innocent comment of a black maid changed the course of a powerful family forever. But the question lingers. Was Samantha truly a villain? Or was she just another victim of a world obsessed with appearances? And was Grace's voice fate's way of reminding us that even the lowest whisper can bring down the loudest lies? So tell me, was it really Grace's innocent comment that destroyed Samantha's wedding? Or was it the fragile lies Samantha had built her life upon? Would you say Grace was wrong for speaking? Or was Samantha's reaction proof that truth always has a way of revealing itself even in whispers? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear what you think. And that's how a single innocent comment from a humble black maid unraveled an entire wedding, stripped away layers of lies, and left a wealthy bride exposed in front of everyone she wanted to impress. And if this story shocked you as much as it shocked me, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you never miss more real-life inspired stories that reveal the darkest truths, deepest betrayals, and the moments that change lives forever.